Hello YouTube, welcome back to the channel. So in today's tutorial, we're going to begin a new series on my YouTube channel. So we're going to be going over the basics and the fundamentals of computer vision. So computer vision is part of artificial intelligence or part of data science. So in the lecture, I've been recording and posting quite some videos on projects on computer vision, like facial recognition system, attendance system using facial recognition, QR code decoders, and other computer vision related projects. Okay, but I haven't really gone over the basics of computer vision and other stuff. So in this tutorial, we're going to go over the basics of computer vision using the Python library opencv. Okay, so opencv is one of the most popular, I think it's the most popular used library for computer vision. Okay, so in opencv comes in different languages, C++ and others, but you're going to be using Python opencv-python for this because it's easier to use, and my channel mostly I make videos on Python, so I just thought we'll make videos, we'll do it in Python. Okay, so the first thing we need to go ahead and do in doing the project, I might even add a bit of show you a bit of examples of things that you have done, so that you guys can see what basically computer vision is. Okay, so the first thing we need to do is actually need to go ahead and install opencv on our machine. So to do this is very easy. I've just opened up my terminal in here, so you can just simply go ahead and create a virtual environment, and then from the virtual environment you can install opencv in that virtual environment. Okay, so I have actually provided a simple article on computer vision. This is actually my first article on Medium, so I have a written version of this tutorial on Medium, and you can find all that content on Medium. So you can install opencv by creating first a virtual environment, and the command to create a virtual environment is this command right here. After creating the virtual environment, you need to go ahead and activate your virtual environment using the command right here, and then finally you need to install opencv, and which you can just go ahead and copy this from right here and then simply install it. Okay, so I've already done all of that, and but in this case I'm going to be using Anaconda for my purposes. I'm going to be using Anaconda. So Anaconda is just a Python machine library management kind of system, something like that. So I'm going to be using Anaconda for this. I'm going to be using specifically Conda, and I've already installed opencv on my machine already. So if you're using Anaconda to create to install an opencv using Anaconda, this is the command. You can just copy one of these commands and install it that way. Okay, so I've already gone ahead and installed all of that and set up the virtual environment. So if you ever set up the virtual environment, these are the steps to set up your virtual environment. So just create a folder, navigate into that folder, and then run these commands. Okay, and then these three commands, and you have opencv installed. Okay, so I assume that you already have that already installed. So I'm just going to go ahead and simply open my Visual Studio Code in my project folder. So feel free to use any folder, any code editor that you're comfortable using. I'm just going to go with VS Code. So I just have my VS Code open here, and in my VS Code I have this folder called images, and in there I have a single image, and I got this image from Pixel. So you can just go to Pixel and then type in an image here, and then you get an image of your choice. So you can get any image you want, and these are just free of copyright, any copyright issues. So just go ahead and get any image you want. I'm going to be going with this specific image of these two beautiful kids. Yeah, so let's get started. So the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to go in here and just simply create a file. I'm going to call this one basic _01.py. So inside of this, I'm simply going to go ahead and import my import cv2 file. So I'm going to import cv2, and cv2 is says once you install opencv, you can import cv2 as we specified there. So make sure that you have opencv already imported. Once you have this imported, you can simply go ahead and simply create a variable here. You're going to say image, and image you're going to say cv2.im read, and then you can just go ahead and specify the part of the image you want to read. So you want to read images, right, instead of our images folder, and in there we have an image called image1.jpg. Okay, so I'm going to say image image1.jpg, just like that. So once you have specified the part here, you have just gone ahead and read the image, and that's how it's easy to read an image using opencv in Python. So once I have the image and the image being read there, I can simply go ahead and display the image content or on my page. Okay, on basically we create a window, and instead of the window we show the image. So I'm going to simply go ahead and say I am cv2.imshow, just like this, and in here you need to give you need to create a window. Sorry, I pressed the wrong key. So I'm just going to go ahead and close this terminal. So in here you need to give the window a name. So you can say window name, and you can just say image1. You can give it anything you want, and then we can go ahead and specify which image we want to display inside of this window, and we want to display the image that we just loaded inside of this variable. So once I have that, I'm going to go ahead and simply do a cv2.wait key, because once we display the image, we don't want to go ahead and wait forever for the image, because it will display the image and then simply close the window. Now we want it to wait a bit so that we can actually see the content of the image, right? So now to do this, you have to say a wait key, and instead of the wait key, you have to say a wait key, and you have to say 0. Means it's going to wait indefinitely until we press a key on our keyboard, and then it's going to quit, right? And yes, once I have this done, I'm just going to go ahead and simply run this code. So I'm going to go into my terminal or anywhere you run your Python code and just run the code. So I'm going to say Python 3 and then basic and then run that. So we have an error here. It says I am sure. So I'm just going to go ahead and clear this and see where I made an error. So let me just run this again. It says that opencv.I am sure. It says that function I am sure, in function I am sure. So we have an error right here. So let's go ahead and see what that error is. So cv2.I am sure, and then the image, and then the name of the title of the window, and then the image that you want to display inside of that window. So that's basically all we need, and we seems to be getting an error here. So it's just I am sure, just like that, and then we have the wait key right here. So let's go ahead and actually run this again, and let's see why we are getting that error. So we got back the same error, and it says that cv2.error opencv this, and then it says assertion failed. Okay, so let's see if you're actually reading the image. I don't think you're actually reading this image right here. And let's see, we said images /image image1.jpg. So let's make sure that you are getting the direct path to this image. Okay, so once I made an error here, I have to remove this, or I have to use a full stop right here. I think if I use a full stop, that should work. So let's try it out. I think I didn't get this path right. That's why I'm getting that error. So sorry for that. And now that I have that right, you can see now we got the image being displayed. So you can see that image of these two kids right here. So I'm just going to go ahead and press any key. So just select the window, this window, just click on it, and just press any key on your keyboard, and that's going to quit. Okay, so don't worry about this right now. I just have an issue with my graphics card. I have some settings to set up, and I've been getting this error for a while. So don't mind this error, but in your case you won't get this output. You just get the terminal closing, right? Yeah, so once it's done, make sure that you have that dot there, or you can simply get rid of this, and then you can read the image also that way. That would also work. So I'm just going to run this again, and that should also work. Okay, so sorry for that path specification error. So make sure you specify the right path to your image. So once we have this done, you can see how it's easy to load and display an image in opencv, right, using opencv. So now let's actually try to get the dimensions of this image, and by the dimensions I mean the height, the width, and the channels of this image. So the height is just the number of pixels of the height, or gives us the number of pixels that makes up the height of the image. We can get the width, which is the pixel value of the width, and we can get the channel. And the channel, I will just explain to you what the channel means. So we can say img.shape, and then we can simply get that information. So the channel stands for when we have an image, right? An image is basically made of three primary colors: the red, the green, and the blue. Okay, so we call this one the RGB scheme. So we can call it we call it RGB scheme, but in OpenCV is called the BGR scheme instead of the RGB scheme. So it gives you the color scheme of this. So blue stands for the blue channel, the C stands for the G stands for the G channel, and then the R stands for the R channel. So by mixing these colors in various variations, we can by mixing these three primary colors, we can get different other colors, and that's how basically images work, and that's what it means by getting the channel of the image. So in this case, this is a colored image, right? So if I open it, you see it's a colored image. So in this case, you're going to get back three channels. But in some cases, like when it's a grayscale image, you're just going to get back one channel. Okay, and sometimes you might get back 4 channels, and the 4th channel is the alpha channel. So it will be something like this. So there'll be an A here in front. Okay, so it'll be the alpha channel, and alpha channel just controls the transparency of that image. So if you have an image that has transparency, like a PNG image, then you might have 4 channels in this case. So once I have this get information obtained, I can simply go ahead and print this information out. So to do this, actually very simple. Just go ahead and simply print that information out, and we can use an F string. So I'm just going to say print, and I'm going to use an F string. So instead of the F string, I'm just going to go ahead and say height of the image. So I'm going to say height, and the height is going to be the height of that image. So I'm going to be using F strings here. You can use any string format, things you want. I'm going to display the width, the width, and the width is just going to be another width, which is going to be just a variable, and then the channel. So the channel here, and the channel is just going to be the channel that we get from the image. So now we have the height, the width, and the channel of that specific image, and you're just printing it out. So I'm just going to go back in here. I'm just going to clear my window, clear my terminal, and run the code again, and you can see we have that right there. So let me just go in here, and you can see above here we can see we have the height of the image, which is 841 pixels, the width, which is this much, and then the channels, which is 3. So in this case, it's an BGR image scheme, okay, or the RGB image scheme. So once I have that, I'm going to bring this and simply press any button to quit out of there, okay. So once we have that, that's how we can simply read an image, okay. So the height represents the number of pixels in rows in the image, or the number of pixels in each column of the image, okay. And then we have the width, which represents the number of pixels, pixel columns in the image, okay. And then we have the channels, which represent the number of color channels used to represent each pixel of that specific image. And then if you have four channels, then the fourth channel is the alpha channel that controls the transparency of that image, okay. So great. So now we have read the image, okay. So let me tell you another way you can go ahead and see people actually reading images. You can say cv2 dot let's go ahead. The first way is going to read the image using the imread. So imread underscore color. So what cv2.imread color, what it simply does, this reads the image with the BGR color scheme, okay. So it reads reads the image considering the primary colors, okay. So if you just run this, you're simply going to get the same output. So I'm just going to go in here and just simply run that code again, and you get back the same output. So yeah, so specifying the read color just simply reads the color of the image, read the image with color. Let's say, what if you want to read the image in grayscale? So you have to say grayscale here. So I have to go ahead and say grayscale. So here, so I am read underscore grayscale is going to read the image in grayscale. Now before I tell you, if I run this code, you're going to get an error. So let's go ahead and actually run the code, and let's see what we get. So we got back an error, okay. So you can see that we are expecting 3, but we got only 2, okay. And the reason why this happens is that when reading an image in a RGB scale, there's only one specific channel and not 2. So I'm going to say one channel here. So it's either black or a mixture of black and white, right? So black and white makes gray images. So it's just one channel and not 2 channels. That's why we're getting that error. Basically, the channel kind of like doesn't exist. That's why we're getting that kind of error. So now we can see, if I remove that channel part, now we're getting the image in just grayscale, and that's how you can read an image using in grayscale using opencv. Another easy way you can read the image is by reading the image in unchanged. So when you read the image in unchanged, what it's simply going to do is going to read the image by also considering the alpha channel. So if you read this, it's going to read it only in grayscale. Let me just go back and try to undo what I've done. So if you read it in color scheme, it's only going to read it in the primary colors without considering basically the BGR scheme, without considering the alpha channel, okay. So what if you want to read it in the alpha channel? So you can have another thing called unchanged. So unchanged. So what unchanged does is just this reads the image or loads the image from the source, meaning that an image is in the BGR scheme. For example, if the image is in a BGR scheme or an RGB scheme, which is a scheme consisting of the alpha value, alpha channel, and which basically controls transparency, then that will not be altered. Means that transparency will also be read and considered inside of image, and that's how you can read transparent images in opencv using the unchanged argument right here. So once I have using the imread underscore unchanged argument right here, so once I have that, I can simply go ahead and run it again, and let's see if we how many number of channels we are going to get, okay. But I can tell you the image right now doesn't consist of any transparent part, but if you have an image that consists of transparency in them, then you're going to get back 4 channels, where by the fourth one stands for the alpha channel that controls the transparency of that specific image, okay. So I'm just going to clear this and simply run the code again. Now you can see we get back this, and if you look the number of channels is basically 3, because our image basically has no transparency in it. Yeah, so that's all we're going to go over for in this video. We have gone over the basics of computer vision and how to read images using opencv. So in the next tutorial, we're going to go over how to crop images and resize images using opencv, and from there I'll go into how to deal with videos and other stuff like that. Yeah, so guys, if you're new to the channel, please kindly consider subscribing to the YouTube channel, liking my videos, and then you can also follow me on Medium. The article to this video is on Medium. Also follow me on Medium for more content like this. If you like the channel, please kindly consider again subscribing, and if you have any recommendation for future videos, let me know in the comment section below, because I haven't really I want recommendation from you guys when making this series, because it's not like other series where I have everything pre-recorded. Okay, so I want suggestions from you guys, and I'm going to include your suggestions in the upcoming videos. So thanks for watching, and see you in the next one. Keep safe.